new governors to inherit 2.1 trillion naira, $1.9 billion debt. And I didn't touch my landlord's manhood. He died of hypertension. That's what a woman is coming up with. Why I still charge 50 naira for 5,000 naira withdrawal POS operator. How Luth bed space shortage aborted female students' dream. And more of the latest headlines here right on the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning. This says, I fear rejection by toy boyfriend's family, 3 feet ex-copper. And of course, let's look at some of all the top stories here. Okay, this says, all right, still on the front page of the Punch newspaper. Let's look at some of the Metro Plus here. 2 migrant found dead in Texas train. 9-month-old needs 8 million naira for heart surgery. All of that are coming from the Punch newspaper this morning. Let's see if we could take more headlines right on the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning. All right. Still talking about the narrow crunch. This says Lagos judiciary. All right. That's the much we can actually take with the Punch newspaper this morning. Now let's go over to the Vanguard newspaper. The Vanguard newspaper on the front page this morning, the big story here says Buhari never said he won't hand over to Tinubu. That's what presidency is saying. The presidency on Friday debunked the report that President Muhammadu Buhari said he will not hand over to the president-elect Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And of course, here says presidential poll, we have been unable to serve petitions on Tinubu Atiku or be laments. Why politicians re-kill to win election? That's what Nigerians are coming up with this morning. And of course, it says new governor Siri Abba Yusuf, man who upset Gandhi's structure in Kano. And FUT Mina Agog as alumni donates recording studio to alma mater. And this says Nollywood themselves who are rocking facial hyacinths with panache. And we also have appeal court overrules tribunal affirms Adeleke as Osun governor. And let's see this. We need to be united now that the election is over. Angela Okorie. And more of the headline says Femi Odugbemi returns as AMVCA head judge. Seeing me face to face attracts 1 million naira. Jaruma brags. All right, still on the front page of the Punch. I was once booed on stage for attacking internet fraudsters. Eben Keys, and this is some of the headlines coming on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Okay, and let's see if we have more. This says Oyetola APC to pay Adeleke 500,000 naira for damages. All right, and this also says Justin Supreme Court affirms Njoko as national chairman of APGA. And that's about it from the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Now, over now to the Premium Times, and let's see some of the headlines here. This says appeal court affirms Adeleke's election as Osun governor. Okay, and virtually all the papers have that this morning. Excellent President IM speaks on its suspension from PDP. Buhari eager to hand over to Tinubu presidency. It's coming up with that. Supreme Court denies report of CGN meeting with Tinubu in London. CBN speaks on evacuation of banknotes to commercial bank, orders weekend operation. Nigeria's Super Eagles lose at home to 118th ranked Guinea-Bissau. And let's see if we have more headlines here. And some of all the top news here is saying Supreme Court upholds Edozie Njoko as Afghan national chairman. Putin visit a headache for South African government. Central African countries want to dump colonial currency. Alleged suspension plan. Court fixes date for judgment on Rivers governor-elect suit. Suspension. Ex-Castina governor Ibrahim Shema writes Ayu threatens to quit PDP. And we also have a Supreme Court denies report of CJN meeting with Tinubu in London. All right, I guess we have that earlier. Bus train accident, 77 passengers discharged from Lagos hospitals, coming from the Lagos State Governor himself, Sanwo-Olu. All right, let's see more of the papers. Now, moving to the Daily Post this morning. The Daily Post also has some headlines there. 4 Lagos-based robbers arrested in Ogun. Police in Ogun State have arrested 4 young men who are allegedly members of robbery gang in Lagos State. Nigeria versus Guinea-Bissau, Pesero releases Super Eagles starting 5. And of course, you want to read details of that. CBN confirms evacuation of banknotes to DMBs. That's the deposit money banks here. Appeal Court upholds Adeleke as Osun governor. An appeal court grants Peter Obi's request to serve petition on Tinubu alleged corruption. ICPC stalls arraignment of ex-JAM registrar or Jerinday's son's daughter-in-law. And let's look at more headlines there on the front page of the Daily Post this morning. So talking about AFCON qualifiers dissecting Nigeria's shock 1-0 defeat to Guinea-Bissau. And of course, that appears to be one of the headlines here on the Daily Post's news engine. And more of the headlines says Judgment Day. All right, that's already been delivered itself. How Lagos GBOLABO election outcome divided celebrities. All of that are on the Daily Post this morning. Now, moving quickly to the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. On the front page of the Daily Trust, quite interesting headlines there. Buhari never said he wouldn't hand over to Tinubu presidency. Residency Friday said President Muhammadu Buhari never said he would not hand over to President-elect Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And of course, this is coming from the president's handler. And cash releases cash orders banks to operate, or CBN releases cash, orders banks to operate on weekend. Osun Governorship Court of Appeal affirms Deleke's election, and virtually the same headlines coming from majorly the papers this morning. Virtually the same papers this morning. Funke Akindele deletes political posts on Instagram, and this also says Anne in Germanze demands 50 million over Domitila, the reboot. And this says Invincible Insurance take unbeaten run as 2023 NPL resumes. And let's see more of the headlines. Ashake Aya Star Keys Daniel nominated for 2023 VGMAs. All right, let's look at more headlines there. If you could get more here on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper. We are investigating one ministry over 4 billion naira contract scam. That's what the EFCC is coming up with. Small arms becoming weapons of mass destruction, federal government warns. And all of that are embedded on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. right, let's quickly look at the Guardian newspaper. Austin Idum is already on standby. And of course, we have this: women still suffer from poverty, unpaid work. And of course, that's some of the headlines coming on the front page of the Guardian newspaper this morning. Austin Idum is here. Good morning, Austin.
Yes, good morning, GBOLABO.
All right, Austin, there are so much headlines this morning, and part of it, we are still talking about the Naira crunch as it is. And now, CBN is also talking about evacuation of banknotes to ensure that even commercial banks works at the weekend. Now, what do we make out of all of this development?
Yes, it's a good one that the CBN has finally given to prayer from Nigeria, though belated. However, it's a step towards easy detention and the crisis in the country, because shortly after the election, that people speculated that the Naira note will almost be everywhere. The scarcity persisted. Amidst that, again, NSC has issued threats to picket CBN branches across the country. So the CBN has finally given order that the money that were mop up be voted out of their kitty to the commercial bank, and that has really been done towards the end of the working week. Within Thursday, Friday, the CBN push out billions of the old Naira notes to commercial bank to be able to pay to their customer and ensure that the pressure and the tension comes down. And in view of that too, the CBN also roll out a circular to the commercial bank to see the possibility of opening for banking activity, especially for withdrawals on weekend, which is Saturday and Sunday. Before the close of work yesterday, some banks in Lagos has actually sent a circular to their customer to address their premises. I don't know whether that will take place in the Badon this morning or over the weekend, but substantially in Lagos, that is being complied with. We must learn from history and also understand the dynamics in terms of how it works in our economy. A lot of people will now be surprised that so this money is there. Why do the government through the CBN chooses to punish the people? A lot of people will also be feeling that, oh, it was actually indeed about the election, because people could not withdraw money. People died in the process. Now the old notes is being rolled out again for people to withdraw. In short, when the Supreme Court gave the order, gave the judgment, it was not complied with. So it's more or less like all about politicking. And going forward, we must. This project is laudable. This policy program of the government through the CBN is a welcome development, but the poor implementation is having political undertone. That is why we find ourselves in this mess. So by and large, I think it's a good one that going forward, especially beginning from next week, God's willing, the idea of people going to ATM, going to bank premises to cluster around 4 a.m. because it's loss of man hour. People that are supposed ordinarily to be sleeping or go about other viable and productive venture within the economy will now have to resort to banking premises as their second office or even their home.
Keeping vigil.
The situation might move.
All right, let's quickly look at this national transition government itself. Obviously, the Buhari government does not have any choice other than to actually have this transition government be in place. But now, from the news that are making rounds out there is that, there are rumors that the president does not want to hand over to the president-elect. And now, even the president, talking about Buhari now, looking at his handlers, coming out to say that's a lie from the pit of hell. And there's no how President Buhari would have campaigned for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and would not be ready to hand over. Now, what is the task before the National Transition Committee here, Austin?
Well, the task of the National Transition Committee is very simple. It's just to ensure a seamless transition on both sides. This time around, it's about the same political party. So the job should be easier. Just to get representatives from the other side and those in government to familiarize those who are coming with the operations and some of the things about government. especially as it regards to quota and some other major things. Apart from the issue of Buhari campaigning for Asiwaju, is a matter of compulsion that the Buhari administration should wind down by May 29, 2023. The president has said repeatedly that he is eager to go. We will also tell him that Nigerians are also, we can't wait anymore for the president.
For him to leave.
Yes, for him to leave.
Okay.
We can't wait anymore for him to leave. This is the first president that we have seen in recent time that will be so eager to go. Not to go because you think you have done so well, not to go because you think you have legacies that are set behind you, but just to go because you think you are almost completing your tenure, you cannot solve the problem of the people in the game, you just have to go home. So apart from the issue of Asiwaju, I think it's a matter of the constitution that the president hands over. And don't also forget, some of these news that are making rounds, they are also as a result of speculations here and there. Don't forget the issue of the interim national government. I hope you have not forgotten.
Obviously.
Yes, some people mooted that at one point. Immediately, there was little or some issues with the election. Some people started calling for an interim government. Let there be an interim government. Some people even went to court again and say, let the election be cancelled. Let's organize a fresh election. Everything is pointing to this interim government.
Would we now say that Tinubu has any influence, so to say, in the process presently? Because now there are also news that he's been meeting with the Chief Justice of Nigeria, and this is very, very speculative at this time. But would we begin to look at the influence of Tinubu at this time, even when he's not been sworn in officially as the president of Nigeria?
Well, we cannot. The issue of his influence has nothing to do with the matter on ground. He's the president-elect, so he's waiting to take over office. He cannot be acting in the position of the president because we can't have two drivers in the same car at the same time. So he can't make some official declaration as regards the office of the president. He has just been elected, so he has not been sworn in. The other news that he is meeting with the CJN, I think that has been debunked. It's a pure lie. We saw pictures and video of the CJN attending prayer session in Abuja yesterday. The Supreme Court has also come out through its own person that the CJN was in travel out of the country January this year, towards the end of January, and that the CJN also traveled out of the country, I think March 17 or March 18, to attend to his health issue, and returned back to the country 23rd. And as at those time this month, I think Asiwaju was still in the country. So if you look at it the way it is, we should not give room to unnecessary speculation. People saw the CJN maybe somewhere on a wheelchair. They said it disguised, they want to meet with Asiwaju. For what? Why would that be? So a lot of concussion, a lot of speculation. The bottom line and the truth of the matter is that the president who is obligated to hand over power on May 29. And the presidency has come out to say that, we don't have any plan not to hand over. So it's a matter of time. Let's see how it goes. As for news, every news will continue to fly. But the way news fly in Nigeria is that once it suits some people, they believe that, it must be true. If it does not suit them, they will feel that, it is not true. But we should look at the merit of every news item to be able to critique whether this particular piece of information is true. Because the CJN cannot be said to be meeting with someone outside the country and at the same time is still in Abuja attending a prayer session. So President Muhammadu Buhari should do everything within his power not to truncate or abort this republic. He should not truncate this democracy. He should just go ahead to relinquish power. Since he has said he is tired, maybe he's just using extra time. We are also very eager for the president to leave office.
All right, let's quickly look at Adeleke. Adeleke's election was not touched. The Court of Appeal actually set aside the outcome of the lower tribunal, talking about the petition tribunal here, in terms of actually sacking him. Now, the appeal court has actually set that aside. does it mean that Adeleke can now heave a sigh of relief, given the fact that there is still Supreme Court one hurdle that Oyetola may be trying to actually go through as well?
Yes, for now, his victory for the Adeleke is a very good one. I've always seen people going to court as an opportunity to test our law. It's always very good. But some people find pleasure in castigating the judiciary anytime it does not favor them. You know, at the tribunal, a lot of comment came out, miscarriage of justice, ambush for democracy, and all of that. We should not try to run down the process or the institution when it does not favor. Some people insinuated earlier that, since Tinubu has been returned elected, Adeleke definitely will lose his case. And I said, no, this is about the judiciary. Yesterday, the Court of Appeal ruled that the petitioner, which is Oyetola, could not prove the case of his overvoting substantially, that the lower court, which is the tribunal, just awarded the judgment. So this is how it goes. We should learn to have confidence in the system, whether it favors us or not. If it does not favor us today, it can favor us tomorrow. Like we have rightly posited, we still have another order, which is the Supreme Court. We do not know where the Supreme Court will go as far as the judgment is concerned. As it is now, you can call it 1-1. That's the way it stands. We have seen in the past where Supreme Court aligns with the tribunal. We have also seen in the past where Supreme Court aligns with the Court of Appeal. Most of the time, the Supreme Court readily aligns with the Court of Appeal. So let's see how it goes in the case of Adeleke. We must learn to trust the system. We must learn to trust our judiciary in particular. I am also looking forward to a period in our justice system wherein petition cases, tribunal cases, issues that has to do with election will need to be sorted out before a candidate is even sworn in. That is what I'm looking forward to see in the days ahead. Because now you have a situation where some people will either be in office illegally, or some people out of office, they will be claiming a mandate that is not theirs. I think we can also reposition our justice system in that to look like that of Kenya, wherein before someone is even sworn in at all the cases will have been decided. That is what we look forward to see. But so far so good. We say kudos to that judgment, and we say congratulations to the Adeleke and the PDP in Osun State. So that is victory. So let's see how it goes.
But is there any problem with our justice system or the implementation process itself? Because I do know that there are some cases that are heard speedily and decided, but now you have instances of not implementing some of these orders. Would we now say that there are some loopholes within our constitutional provisions or the legal process or our attitude to some of these laws?
Yes, there is what we call ACTA, Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015. That the purpose was to overhaul the entire justice system and give speedy dispensation of justice to petitions and cases. You can see that as from 2015 that I just quoted, with the birth of that ACTA, election cases began to speed up. Most time between the tribunal to the Court of Appeal, maybe around 180 days. It should not be more than 180 days before the cases are dispensed of. I think Adeleke took office around November or so. I can't recall vividly now. So it is not up to 6 months yet we are already at the appeal court. The tribunal judgment came, I think, late January. Now the appeal court has given judgment. So I am sure that in the next 2 months, Supreme Court too will also work on this judgment and dispensal. Don't forget, pre-2015, 2007, and the like, all these other elections, Oyinola election, Olusegun Agago election, if you can recall, some of them will last as much as 3.5 years. 3.5 years. But today, the bar is about 180 days, which means that it is faster. But what I'm advocating for is that let us also reform the justice system in such a way that we will remove the 180 days and fast-track it to the extent that between the time when election is set and the time of swearing in, which is not less than 90 days, let all the cases be dispensed of so that a wrong candidate will not even be sworn in the first time, or so that some people will not be laying claim to what is not there. If you further reform it, bring it to 6 months, bring it to 2 months, maybe 90 days or 60 days. At the end of the day, you dispense them all. Like we have had the presidential and governorship election now. People have been returned elected. There is nothing stopping us if we work on the criminal justice system again to ensure that before swearing in, all the cases are decided. So anybody that did not win election will not even be sworn in at all. That is what I look forward to. But so far so good. I think the system is faster now than what it used to be before. We can only do better. We can only improve the process. Because if we get to a level where anybody that does not win election will not be sworn in, or anybody that lost the election will agree that he has actually lost, having exhausted all the judicial options between 60 to 90 days before swearing in, at the end of the day, our democracy will be more robust. It will be more superb. So that is what I look forward to.
All right, let's quickly look at this before actually opening the phone lines. Ibrahim Shema, that's the former governor of Castina, has asked the People's Democratic Party National Working Committee to rescind his suspension within 48 hours. And we do know that it's not only him that has actually faced this kind of onslaught within the PDP itself. The likes of Fayoshe too are going through all of this for anti-party activities. What do you think is going on with the PDP? Are they trying to put their house in order here? Because obviously it appears that they're troubled, as it were, presently.
Yes, the PDP does not at any point in time intend to put their house in order.
Really?
I think they are at the verge of precipice. That is just it. This is what we find in the country. In the last 8 years, PDP has always been missing in action. They have not been able to provide viral opposition in the country. Look at the way the country is. Fuel scarcity, naira scarcity, nobody is talking, everybody is moving on. All the PDP is interested in is to take over power. Of course, opposition is not run like that. Let us go to the flip side on when this current ruling party was in the opposition. You know, that's the challenge. Apart from trying to put your house in order, the PDP is even destroying its camp. That is the way it works. Look at the election that was just concluded. You know, some other party emerged as a result of dichotomy and division within the PDP. You have just lost an election. It is a period to bring people together. You are now suspending people. You suspended people because they could not deliver their places. How about the national chairman of the PDP? How well has he delivered his own state? How well has he delivered his own word? These are areas where we are talking about. When you lose in any battle, what you do is to re-strategize, retreat backward, set your house in order, and reposition yourself for a future battle. But the PDP, after every time they lose a major election, they will want to break their camp to pieces. That was what happened to them in 2015. That after losing the election at that time, for about 3 years, they were in the court, running from pillar to post. That's the issue. It is not all just about suspension. The ruling party will also have some of their top officials too, who couldn't deliver. We can't quickly talk about.
So did they go back to the days of Alex Ekweme and some of the things that they did for the political parties? Do they need to rejig the processes of the guidelines of the political party, looking at what the likes of those grandfathers, the likes of Alex Ekweme, has done within the political party itself?
Yes, in those days it was about ideology. It was about political party trying to deliver for the people, defending the people. But today, an average politician wants to use a political party as just a vehicle to get into power. Look at the PDP. I didn't think that PDP was not thoroughly divided before this election. They have the capacity to have won this election. PDP, Atiku is of the PDP. Peter Obi is of the PDP. Look at in South Nigeria, some of the votes that went the way of Peter Obi were ordinarily stronghold of the PDP. That we are talking about, Peter Obi almost inherited some of the major votes that should have gone to the PDP. So, and they have not learned anything. The point I'm making is that when people commit offense within the political party, there are laws in the party that can invoke discipline and sanction. But the truth of the matter is that this is not the time to start saying that, I want to suspend A or B. This is the time to have a sober reflection, think deeply, and look at where you are falling. They said, if an elderly man falls, he looks at the back. What has caused me to fall in case of tomorrow? So PDP has not really learned anything. They are not providing opposition. They just want to gain power. That is why they cannot put their house in order. Look at all the crises they had before the election. For example, if they have been able to come together formidably, they will have been able to win this election. This just concluded election. PDP will have won this election, but they didn't win because they decided to fragment their camp here and there and destroy the camp. So that's just the issue. I feel so strongly that this is a time for a reconstruction. This is the time to rebuild the party, not the time to destroy the party by invoking suspension. You suspended Shehu Shema, you suspended Timaroke, you suspended Fayoshe, you suspended a number of others, you suspended Pius Ayim. Are you now telling me that these are only people that have played anti-party activity? That's the issue. What is making people to play? Even we have some prominent people within the ruling party that are also engaged in anti-party activity. It is ordinarily expected when people say that there is no justice. So the PDP should look at the issue of justice within his party, the issue of equity within his party, what happened to his constitution on rotational presidency. They were the one that imported rotational presidency zoning. They were the one that imported it into political lexicon in Nigeria. Now all of a sudden they have to make you turn to abort that, and this is the crisis that we are having. So we need a strong ruling party. We also need a very formidable opposition party in the country.
All right, Austin, let's open the phone lines right about now. The numbers are 070-550-949 or 080-970-949. We're also live on Facebook, 32FM 949 Ibadan. All right. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, please. What's the name and where you're calling us from?
This is Austin from UI.
All right, please go ahead.
I greet your Austin too. It's been a long time. God bless him. Let me start from the victory of Adeleke. My sister, I want to comment in 3 justices. You know, it was a unanimous judgment. That's to tell you how the election went through. And I want to commend them that they don't want this country to be set ablaze, unlike their counterparts at the tribunal. If you look at the trend of the election from that election, followed by the presidential election, the party won the senatorial district. And the last election, you know that the man is actually on ground. So we just have to pray and we don't have some judges that the judges of yesterday, they are like 1/1,000 in Nigeria. That's on that place. On the suspension of PDP people, especially that of Fayoshe, is long overdue. It's not only about PDP. APC have been successful too. Please, it's not about this election. The fact is that the PDP has to PDP. You know that GBOLABO was a PDP candidate in the city. You will have won too. For this Fayoshe, who is no longer relevant, there was a time he is coming to battle. All the people will close. But if it's coming to battle now, it's just like the way Mitchell has come to battle. It's okay. They are actually not relevant again. They split that party. Let all of them be suspended and let all this maybe youth that can make people that can work with Obi while we are expecting Obi back in PDP, and we deal with this APC that
That is
the story line. That's my calculation now.
All right.
This APC, they don't have any plan. But we can take them out of power. I don't have to tell you if I will be back in PDP.
Okay.
Let's go with the party.
All right. Thank you so much for calling in this morning. Hello, good morning. All right. The numbers are 070-550-949 or 080-970-949. Hello, good morning.
Good morning to GBOLABO.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. Please go ahead.
On the issue of cashless policy, to me, the man so-called need to be queried for using bad methodology of implementation for a very good policy like cashless one. Because I don't see anything wrong with the cashless policy. But the time and method of implementation is very, very bad. For him as a president, is it wickedness or is it incompetency? I can't just understand. Because the man needs to be get arrested for allow people to be suffering. People are dying on a daily basis because of this good policy with bad method of implementation. It's quite unfortunate. A nice day, my sister. Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling into the program. And of course, I still the papers review here on Break It On 32 FM 949. Hello, good morning. All right. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, my sister. And also, happy weekend. John Oladiwaju from Agbowo.
All right.
The issue of cashless policy is shows now that they purposely wicked Nigeria because I
guess you'll have to call us back from that line. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Okay, hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, please. What's the name and where you're calling us from?
I'm calling from Ibadan.
All right, please go ahead.
Honestly, I oppose any form of election rigging. But I was discussing with someone, I said the APC power brokers should just leave Adeleke to serve as the governor of Osun State because it is clear that the people actually chosen. I am from Osogbo and they use their vote to speak for this guy. Believe me, there would have been a catastrophe in the state if Oyetola had won the legal battle and of course Adeleke sent out of the governor's house. So then, don't forget Aradeshola's poor management of the state, which may take Osun State the next 20 years to rectify. So congratulations to the man of the people and of course kudos to our judiciary system. I hope Adeleke will learn one or two things from Akide Memorial State. Good morning, from Ibadan.
Good morning, Black Hazen. Thank you so much for calling us into the program this morning. Hello, good morning. All right, please go ahead.
On PDP and their suspension, I think it is time for them to put their house in order. Because we Nigerians, we need a formidable opposition that keep the ruling party on toes, the EPC. I think they were the cash. Thank God that CBN have directed the bank to be open during the weekend. Because this cash cost is really averting. Even we Muslims, Ramadan is going on now. Because it's very difficult for someone who does not have a certain amount of money to take care for his own family. On Adeleke victory, see, you don't need to associate to know that in that state, the people really voted for Adeleke because they are really tired for APC. Even the presidential election and the state assembly election that happened last weekend, PDP cleared all the seats in that state. That means they are tired of APC. But the best thing for us is that our judiciary, you try to be neutral. That is my own take. Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling into the program. And let's see if we could take another call before going to Facebook this morning to take your comments. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, please.
It's a lady from Medellin.
All right, please go ahead, lady.
I think things have shown the direction it's going itself. And I think the judiciary has taken the right step this time around. I know I think it's struggle to cross for the governor. That is the Supreme Court. And I know you get through because people in that state have spoken already. And concerning the issue in PDP, I think you need to suspend everybody, let them go the way they feel they can reconcile their own. Because they feel better, they are in there together. As most of the speakers have said, we need a very good opposition. And I think if we get their hands together, we have a better opposition. And if it's the Labour that you become the next opposition, so be it. So that's my thing. And concerned of this cashless policy, I think what this government has did is that they kept us busy all along, from the petroleum issue to that of the cashless policy. So the result is that we've gotten a better election. We've gotten a peaceful election. Because it's when you are stable that you start agitating for what doesn't belong to you. So I think they kept us busy. And anybody that is calling Emebele, I don't think Emebele was there in 1984 when they gave us tools to change. I remember then, it was 29 that was the highest denomination. And it's not Emebele was in secondary school then. So I think it's not a case of Emebele. It's the case of the man at the end of our prayer. Have a nice day.
All right, have a nice day too. Thank you for calling into the program. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. I'm John Njoko. I'm calling from Channel.
All right, please go
ahead. Austin appears to be in same party with the PDP. So let me just advise you, leave that party, let them scatter themselves if they so like. And I don't want to remind us that That is 2015 Justice Criminal Act was actually good, but unfortunately the Supreme Court nullified section part of it for being unconstitutional. If you remember, because of what Jews of Kano, the president is eager to go, Nigeria's equally eager to see him off. The president is bound by the Constitution to hand it back to the president-elect on May 29. He cannot do otherwise. John Njoko is my name. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, John Njoko, for calling into the program. And quickly, let me take your comment on Facebook. And this is from Oza Francis Namani. Says, from Enugu State, good morning from here. The victory of Ademola Adeleke in appeal court is a victory for democracy, and I must say big congratulations to him. And let's see if we could take more. And Miriam Yetune says, good morning. It's a pity that some state governors find it difficult to pay their workers their entitlement, as at when due, even after these people have worked diligently, not to even talk of the retirees. I think we should now give kudos to governors who prioritizes the welfare of their workers, the likes of Lagos, Oyo State, and few others. A writer Mo Basharan Biola says, congratulations to Governor Ademola Adeleke of Osun and his victory at the appeal court yesterday. I will congratulate the people of Osun State. All right, kudos to our judiciary. God bless Nigeria and guide our leaders. Balkis Onodiran says, truly, what Emefiele and his associate did was economically suicidal, and their monetary policy was not entirely sincere. It has political overtone. How do they expect Nigerians to subsist when they have mopped up over 3 trillion naira and printed just 400 billion naira in addition to the old naira note of 500 naira? All right, that's a bit long. And let's see if we could take another one before going back to calls. Omadi Adekunle says, the direction of the CBN to all commercial banks to work at the weekend, okay, and distribute more naira notes to the public is a welcome development, because it will give many Nigerians the opportunity to have access to their cash and reduce the hardship battle. All right, battling us in the country. But many Nigerians are very angry with the Emefiele because this policy has never contributed to Nigerian economic development, but rather worsened it. All right, let's return to the phone calls. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. All right. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Please go ahead. What's your name and where are you calling us from? Okay, I guess we'll pick more comments from Facebook. And Boluwatife Ademi Juwon says, good morning. The cashless policy is indeed a good one. Right, and let's see this. Okay, we messed that up. All right, we'll go back to that. Let's take this. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, please.
Yeah, this is Vinga Mary calling from Apata.
Okay, please go ahead, Vinga.
Yeah. I'm happy at the what happened to Governor Adeleke in Osun State. It's a good judgment from the appeal court. I'm from Osun State as well. I'm from Malaysia as well. I think the people of Malaysia, the people of Osun State, they like Adeleke so much because Adegbeshola support and Oyetola, they support the economy of the state. They couldn't pay the retirees their money. They couldn't pay the workforce their money. And now that Adeleke has come to turn down the table, I think that was a good judgment. The issue of the CBN, if not for the threat that the NLC gave, I know by now the Emefiele will not have given an instruction that banks should they should start working even on weekends. I think sorry.
Into the program, thank you a lot. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, please. What's the name and where are you calling us from?
My name is Awoke Victor. I'm calling from Soka.
All right, please go ahead, Victor.
I want to comment about the PDP's expulsion of certain members. The Bible says there was war in heaven, and Satan and some of his agents or demons were sent packing from the heaven so that there will be peace. So I think it's good riddance to bad rubbish in the PDP. These particular individuals, including some others, caused problems within the PDP and they costed them the election. So I think what the PDP is doing is a nice one, and I wouldn't want to
Anyways, good morning. Thank you. This is Victor.
All right, thank you so much, Victor. Let me get back to Boluwatife Ademi Juwon's message on Facebook. He says, good morning. The cashless policy is indeed a good one, but it's lack proper implementation. The president and CBN governor should have considered both the positive and negative effects before coming up with such policy. The inability to plan so well is affecting everyone and every businesses because many of them are swelled up already. All right, let's take one or two more calls before going this morning. Hello, good morning. Yes, okay, please go ahead.
Like I'm saying about the CBN policy, to me, if you go to, I went to the bank yesterday, they are still giving that, I don't want to call it old money. Whereas the new money came that we printed with each amount of money. The money we took to the bank, the same money they are giving us back, that they claim that they are bonded. So they say to me, it's like they just play on Nigeria intelligence. And to me, if anybody thinks that initially should not be blamed on this issue, I think I did not agree. You're not supposed to face the trial. On the PDP, let them continue playing their game. That's how they did after the election in 2015. So they haven't learned their lesson. I don't understand that part. We need another party to take over. Thank you. Good morning.
All right, thank you so much for calling back into the program this morning. Still the papers review here on Break It On 32FM 94.9. And of course, I'll take this from Olayinka Adetola from Facebook. Congratulations to Governor Adeleke as regards his victory at the Court of Appeal and wish him successful tenure that will benefit all the Osun State residents. And I want to urge him to emulate the leadership style of Oyo State government, especially in the area of free education, continuity of the moribund infrastructure projects and prompt payment of salaries and pensions. May God bless Nigeria. Austin, do you have any sort of contributions or reply or response to some of the things being talked about, especially looking at the fact that one of the callers talked about this is not a problem of Emefiele, but of the man at the Aso Rock there. It's of course going back to the 1980s.
Yes, it's also a Buhari problem. It's also a Emefiele problem. There's no way you can exonerate Emefiele completely from this. In 1984 that people talked about, we were just about 19 states or thereabouts, around 80 million population. It's a matter of Emefiele. That time it was during military regime. This is about civilian administration. Of course, the same person at that time. But Emefiele also did a very shoddy job, a very bad job. That's the truth. Emefiele cumulatively has spent about 3 decades in the banking industry. So it's ordinarily expected that he should know how things work. So the idea of simply trying to exonerate Emefiele does not really hold water. It means that Buhari has failed the country. All of us knows that. Emefiele too is also a failure as far as this policy implementation is concerned. It's not the policy itself, but the implementation. Now it is crystal clear that policy was intended for political purpose. That's what it means. John Olariwaju said, why are they paying us the money we took to the bank? Why do we have problem in the first instance? It was because there was no new money. So that is why we have gone back to the circle again, voting out the old Naira note and printing it. So all the thing that has happened has become exercise in futility. This is Nigeria for you. I keep asking this question, who pay for all of this? All the people that lost their life, who pay for them? Let's even not talk about compensation. So we have had a lot of policies, Amazon. Emefiele name will always go down in history as far as this policy is concerned. So the idea of coming up to say that, let us start clapping for Emefiele. Emefiele within himself knows that he is not right on this policy.
All right, Raji. Okay. All right, Austin. Let me quickly take this from Raji Hafiz Abiola Raja from Facebook. Good morning, GBOLABO. About the directive of CBN to commercial banks to open for businesses weekend. Honestly, this is the welcome development and will surely speed the process of making the Naira available for the people. The CBN must therefore make sure at their end to provide this notes for commercial banks so as to meet people's expectations. God bless Nigeria. All right, let's take this as our last caller for this morning.
Hello, GBOLABO.
Yes, okay. Please. Good morning.
Good morning. This is for you.
All right, please go ahead, Sean.
When tribunal gave Oyetola victory, people begin to blame or abuse the tribunal. The Adeleke don't get the judgment. They begin to hold the tribunal. See, Nigerians, and I want to tell PDP, there's no question that is not relevant.
This is they are suspending, they are grassroots mobilizers. They are destroying the party. The people should not take side. Supreme Court is there. You don't know what the judgment of Supreme Court will be. Have a nice time. God bless you.
All right, thank you so much, for dropping that. Austin, what are your last words this morning before calling it a wrap on the program?
Yes, the Adeleke issue, Supreme Court is still there. So let us not be carried away. That's just the truth of the matter. Let us not use the last election to judge acceptance. After us, APC swept National Assembly election in Oyo State. And look at the margin of win in the governorship election. So it is always that any government in Osun State, during Oyetola too, APC also swept the election somehow. So let us not use that to judge. Let's simply await the Supreme Court judgment. But for now, kudos and victory to Adeleke.
All right. Thank you so much, Austin, for your time. That's Austin Edumo. Thank you so much for the analysis and conversation on these issues around the papers review this morning. Thanks a lot. And to all our callers, we say a big thank you, and all the contributions on Facebook. Join us again next week for another interesting edition. My name is GBOLABO, Famous Call. Bye for now.